Well, hello and welcome to today's episode of the Power of Your Mind podcast. You are listening to episode number 109 or 109, 209. I'm Victoria Gallagher, Law of Attraction hypnotist and number one best-selling author of Practical Law of Attraction: Align Yourself with the Manifesting Conditions and Successfully Attract Your Desires. And I'm also the founder of HipTalk.com and HypnoCloud apps, which gives you access to over 500 hypnosis recordings right in the palm of your hand. So be sure to download that app from the app stores. And I am here with my co-host, comedy hypnotist, Jim Kellner. Hey, Jim.
Hello, Victoria. Hello, beautiful people out there in the world.
Hello, 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 hello. So yeah, today we want to talk about comfort zones. Have you ever found yourself stuck in a comfort zone, maybe without even realizing that you're stuck in a comfort zone? And, just how, I don't know, just like everything just kind of stays the same, but you're not really, you're not taking risks, you're not putting yourself out there. Just everything is just sort of staying exactly the way that it is.
Me personally, oh yeah. Um, I used to live in the comfort zone. That's where I was at for a long time. Um, in fact, one of the things people probably won't believe this about me because I'm a public speaker and a comedy stage hypnotist, but I grew up painfully shy. I was painfully shy well into my 20s, and I decided I had to get over it. So I started taking acting classes, and I was terrified.
Ooh, wow. I would have never known that about you. I mean,
Hmm.
because I've seen you speak, I've seen you, I've watched your videos, and I would never ever really think of you as somebody who used to be that shy.
Yeah, it's funny. Like people say, "Oh, you must have been the class clown and all this." No, no. I think I was always funny, but I was too afraid to say anything out loud, so
Yeah.
nobody knew I was funny.
It is funny though. It is interesting that a lot of people who do put themselves out there, entrepreneurial people, public speakers, comedians, actors, you do find out, when you meet them in private, you will find out a lot of people that appear to be very extroverted and the life of the party and all of that. That's just sort of in a way it's kind of a persona that we've had
Yeah,
to put on. And, just because you see somebody out there doing those things doesn't necessarily mean that it's just the way they are. It's they've overcome or they're in the process of overcoming that, they can be very introverted people is what I'm trying to say.
yeah, and there's a lot of them too. I've talked to a lot of comics and other stage hypnotists. Now there are a lot that were the class clown, but there's also a lot that had to overcome it. And I think it's funny because sometimes, I'll a couple of different things will happen. I'll have a client that'll say, "Oh yeah, but I'm too afraid to I can never be a public speaker because I'm too afraid." I'm like, "Yeah, we all are. Or at least a lot of us are when we first
Hmm.
start." And then I have hypnotherapists that'll say, "Oh, I could never get up and speak in front of people because I'm afraid." I'm like, that shouldn't stop you. That means you just have to do more. It's terrifying at first.
It really is. And here's the thing. Everything that you want to manifest, like right now, anything that you have not created in your whole bubble and let's call that bubble your comfort zone, every single thing that you don't have that's outside of your realm is outside of your comfort zone.
Or you'd already have it.
Otherwise, you'd already have it. Exactly. Just another way to
Right.
put that, is everything that you want to manifest is beyond your present level of awareness. Otherwise, like I said, like you said, we would already have that thing. We would already have manifested it if we knew exactly how to get it. And so the only way really that we are going to manifest, and I always look at manifestation and law of attraction as it really comes down to personal growth. It
Mm.
really comes down to personal
Th-
growth.
That's what I love about your approach. That's what I love about your approach.
Yeah,
It's not just sitting in a room meditating and saying Om and visualizing. There's also that the component of the self work that we're doing. Love that.
yeah. Well, I believe it kind of like this, like God or the universe or whoever created us didn't put these desires into our hearts. Like, where did these ideas, these desires come from? Where did we get the idea that we wanted to manifest the thing, that we wanted a soulmate, that we wanted to be wealthy, that we wanted to be successful, that we wanted to drive that nice car, that we wanted, where did those ideas come from? I mean, maybe, we see other people that have these things, so we decide, but there are original unique ideas that we have that, like, oh, I want to be a singer, I want to be whatever it is that we want, that to me, those are gifts that were planted in us to ultimately be like, give us a focus. They,
Hmm.
they're really there to give us a focus. And in order to get there, like let's just say that focus is like running a marathon. All
Hmm.
right. So in order to cross that finish line and get
Hmm.
to the other side of that, that line, that finish line, we weren't just born just being able to run a marathon. I mean, that it requires significant amounts of growth, training. It requires discipline. It requires getting up every day and running an hour, 3 hours, 5 hours, some days, depending on, the day of the week. Yeah, some days, I mean, and it can be, and what's kind of a painful process doing
Hmm.
all that training. And there's just a lot that you're going to learn about yourself along the way. I almost recommend anybody who's ever tried to manifest anything, manifest running a marathon. Like, that is a growth opportunity. Oh my God, let me tell you. And but in order to get to that finish line, in order to get to that goal, you've got to do the work. And it's the same thing with manifestation. You got to do the work. It's becoming the person who's in alignment with your desire. And everybody has different levels of comfort zones, just at different stages. There was a time, I mean, oh, I'm trying to think of, oh yeah, okay, like for me, getting up and doing my own public speaking. I mean,
Hmm.
I remember, and this happens to me almost every single time. It's always like I grow into a new person every time I have to give a new presentation, because I
Hmm.
do end up having to make it a little harder on myself. I can't just get up and talk about the same thing every single time I get up there. So like I always feel like, okay, I got to create this whole new, and that requires like doing a little bit of research. It requires growing. It requires having these new experiences. It requires putting together words in a different way. And then you practice. And I remember the very first time that I was about to speak many years ago at HypnoBiz, and I had put together my presentation, and I said it out loud to my three cats in the living room for the first time. And I'm like, oh my God, I suck. I sound horrible. I'm not going to be able to do this. And I'm like, why did I sign up for this? And I'm like literally almost getting ready to quit. But so here I was in a very awkward, very uncomfortable place. Like thinking like, how am I going to do this? And so I had to face that severe discomfort, and awkwardness with myself. Like I wasn't even in front of anybody. I just felt like awkward in my own house. Like I can't say this the right way, that I sound horrible. And and it was really such a turning point, because I just faced that discomfort and I said, okay, you know what? I'm just going to do this over and over and over again until it does feel comfortable. And guess what? I went to New York. I gave the best speech. I had coaches coming up to me. It's like, oh, can you coach me on helping me with my funnels? Because I was talking about funnel marketing. And I had all these people, and I'm like, I sounded like somebody that I'd been doing this for my whole life, but I wasn't. That was the first presentation in front of hypnotists that I ever gave. And was I
Wow.
uncomfortable? Hell yeah, I was uncomfortable. Didn't look like it, but inside I was trembling and I was going through, and I was just going through it. And I think everybody has to kind of, find their thing like that, and and go through it.
I think that one of the great things about public speaking is it's kind of it's, I know it doesn't feel safe, but it is a pretty safe way to push your comfort zone. And the thing is, so the confidence that you get from doing one sort of a thing, it will bleed into other areas, so maybe you don't want to become a public speaker, but it can still help you because it's all about you. And what I really like too, I hope that made sense.
Hmm.
Um, what I really liked when you we're talking about the marathon, because I think that makes it even more tangible for us to understand, because we talk about becoming, you got to become that person that you're trying to become. You are that has those things, that possesses those, whatever it is, the qualities, the car, the house, whatever. And I think when you make it physical like that, it's kind of obvious. Well, yeah, you've got to become the person that can run a marathon, and you do that by these things.
Getting uncomfortable. It's not comfortable to get up at 5 o'clock
Right.
every morning. But when you're living in Florida and it starts getting humid at
Yeah.
8, 9 o'clock in the morning, you got to get out there, and you got to get up and you got to do that. And you got to get uncomfortable. You got to go through all that discomfort to, just for that one moment, that shining moment,
Right.
getting
Right.
that medal.
Yeah. And
And you good.
I was just gonna say, and then, I mean, if you can equate that now to like the whatever it is, the psychological part, the spiritual part, whatever else, I think it's the same thing. You're basically building your whatever is your manifesting muscle. You're building your emotional muscle, your mental muscle, your spiritual muscle by doing these activities, like a training schedule, really.
Yes, absolutely. And if you want different results, you have to do something different. And so many people, don't realize that. And
Right.
we like, and, you know, there's going to be, just because I have gone through the discomforts that I've gone through already, doesn't mean that I'm done with it. You're never done with the discomfort. If you want to grow to the next level, then there's going to be another level of discomfort. But the thing is, I love the way Joe Dispenza puts this. Have you ever read any of his material? Listened to any of his material? He's the author. He's speaker, spiritual leader of the breaking the habit of being yourself, and becoming super conscious, I believe, is the other
Mm.
book. And there's been a couple of other books, but he puts it amazingly. And I just got an opportunity to listen to him again the other day, so I'm just going to go into the Joe
Mhm.
Dispenza way of saying it, that the way he describes, like, if you get up, you get up this at the same time, you push the snooze button with the same finger that you push it, and you get into your same cozy slippers, you get into the same robe, you go downstairs and you drink your coffee and out of the same cup, the same type of coffee, you have the same exact breakfast, you go upstairs, you get in the shower, you wash yourself using the same washing yourself routine, then you dress yourself and you make yourself look exactly like everybody expects you to look that day. Then you get into your car and you drive to work going the exact same route that you take every day. Then you work and you do you talk to relatively the exact same people each day, and then you rush home to eat the same dinner, to talk to the same family, to watch the same shows, to ultimately get in back in bed and do the exact same thing the next day and the next day and the next day. And the question is, has your brain changed? Has anything changed?
Why isn't my life changing?
And you secretly expect things to change, but has anything actually changed? And
Right. How
so,
could it?
huh?
I mean, how could it? Unless some lightning strikes you or something. I mean, if you just keep doing the same stuff, you keep getting the same results, right?
We do. We absolutely do. And so we have to really take a look at that. We have to really take a look at what does it mean to really get out of our comfort zone, and what do we need to do? What are we afraid to do? And just start with even the smallest things. I mean, just even the smallest thing of just taking a look at, how do I spend my day? Because if you can start to just loosen up the the um loosen up and be a little bit more flexible on how you spend your time and what you deem as the correct thing that's going to lead you toward whatever it is that you want to manifest. I mean, if you want to if you want to if you want a relationship, but you're not putting yourself out there, then how are you ever going to create a relationship? And so you've got to, like Joe Dispenza talks about, you've got to break that habit of being yourself. And because who you are right now, yourself, is is in a comfort zone, and so yourself needs to change in order to grow, in order to expand, in order to develop yourself into the person that is in alignment with whatever it is that you desire. And so I think that there's a number of things that you can easily do, some techniques. Number one, I think meditation is a great,
Hmm.
great way to help you to get out of your comfort zone, because it's comfortable to allow your mind to just go off on all different thoughts and just let yourself think. We're actually addicted to thinking.
Hmm. Yeah, I can
We're
see that.
we're
Right.
actually addicted to thinking. It's hard not to think. It's like the hardest thing in the world to break the habit of doing is thinking. So meditation helps you to break that habit of having to think all the thoughts. You don't have to think every thought that comes to your mind,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And it's uncomfortable to let those thoughts go. It really actually is uncomfortable to let those thoughts go. But meditation will take us through that discomfort over and over and over and over again. It breaks that cycle. It breaks that. It's to me, it's probably one of the simplest things that you can do. It's not easy. There's a difference between simple. It's like simple, meaning like literally just stop thinking and put your focus on your breathing or whatever else, your mantra. Um, but it's not easy because you're going to get tempted by your thoughts. And when I say by your thoughts, what I mean is the thoughts that are keeping you stuck in your comfort zone, right? Because it's the same thoughts it's those same thoughts over and over and over again that are keeping us exactly where we are.
Yeah. Um, for the longest time, it was really one of the things that I found difficult was to not stop meditating to write some thought down. I was like, oh, I want to remember this for later. And I finally got to the point where I just have to just let that go. Otherwise, it would just be a thinking session, right? Because I just be allowing myself to keep going. Oh yes, another great thought, another great thought.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, just doing new things, like taking a class, taking a yoga class, taking an exercise class, going out and meeting new people, signing up for Toastmasters. I think Toastmasters is such a wonderful way of developing that skill of getting out of your comfort zone. I mean, you have so many, it's a safe place, like you were saying about public speaking. Even if you don't necessarily want to be a public speaker, joining a group like Toastmasters that constantly challenges you to think in new ways, to put yourself into new, uh, you're faced with new questions, new people, interacting, all of that. Um, I think developing just the skill of communication is something everybody should learn at some level. And people, most people are. I mean, if we really think about the things that scare us the most, it's other people.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, speakers are leaders. So if you want to move up in whatever industry you're in, or just even if or whatever charity that you belong to or anything like that, being able to present your ideas in front of an audience is going to help so much. In fact, I've had clients that I remember this one client that came to me. He was a manager and he was like, I can't go to the next level because they expect me to get up in front of and talk in front of the team, and I can't do it.
Mhm.
So it was essential for him to be able to do that.
Absolutely. Oh, it's such an amazing way to grow yourself and to get out of your comfort zone. It really is. Here's another. I'm really am thinking about all my gurus that I love to watch on YouTube and what have you is Mel Robbins. Are you familiar with
Oh
Mel
yeah,
Robbins?
great stuff. I love the
Oh,
5 4 3 2 1. Do it.
yes, yes. I was
Yeah.
literally going to talk about her 5-second rule. And yeah, the five, four,
Oh,
three, two,
sorry, I
one.
didn't mean to.
No, no, please,
Stuff like
please.
that.
But how I love her speech. Um, that she talks about how that like there's only one rule when it comes to success and productivity and getting everything that you want. And she puts it so boldly. And I just love the way she says this. You're never going to feel like it ever. But she's like, you're never going to feel like it
Right. Right.
ever.
Yeah.
And she talks about how, like, no one's coming for you and
Hmm.
all of that. But that's the thing, is like, um so once again, I hearken back to, like, you're never going to feel like it. So what does that actually mean? That means that you got to get out of your comfort zone, because if you did the things, if you got out of your comfort zone, then you would have everything that you ever wanted. You really would.
Yeah, you would. I'm reminded too, and I would like to circle back to, the title, because I've watched a few of Joe's videos, but the getting out of the habit of being yourself, I think is so powerful because I run into this all the time. People will say, well, that's just not me. Or, if I do this, I'll become somebody else. And really, if you want to grow, you have to become someone else because, and I don't mean you're someone else, the guy down the street or your neighbor or your best friend, but you got to become a different version of yourself, or you'd already have that thing. The version of you is capable and worthy of everything that you have around you. That's where you're at
Yes.
right now.
Hmm.
If you want more, you're gonna have to change. You have to become someone else.
You have to be more. If you want more, you have to be more. And who you are is okay right now. Like, who
Sure.
you it's okay. Like if you don't want anything else,
Yeah.
that's okay. You don't have to want anything else. I think most of the people, clearly you tune into a podcast like this because you want to learn, you want to grow, you see that you have a potential. And but you're not the same person that you were when you were just first learning to walk or crawl. You're not that person anymore.
Right. Exactly. Do you want to go
you're,
back and be yourself then
you're
when
not
you're
the
still pooping
person
your
who
pants?
right. In order to learn to walk or crawl, you've got to strive for that. You've got to get uncomfortable. You got to, even the baby has instincts, but we fall down so many times when we become adults, and people point and laugh when you fall down, and you look stupid, or you feel stupid, or you try so many times and you fail over and over and over again, that you just kind of start to question, oh, is it even worth it? Is it even worth it just to even try anymore? And I say that it is. And you have to continue to pursue. You have to continue to get uncomfortable. And it's okay to fail. It's okay to not be where you want to be. You got to be okay with, this is where I am right now. You got to admit that. You got to accept that. And then at the same time, there's just so many different things that you can do to just to begin to get out of your comfort zone and change. Talk to different people. Really, I think, if you talk to the exact same people every day, you're going to have the same conversations. You're going to be talking about what you don't like. Most people, we're really honest, most of the conversations that people like to have, they're not necessarily talking about their ideas, and they're talking about, oh, how that person, gossiping, or
Sure.
complaining
Yeah.
about the way things are, or did you hear about, blah blah blah. So you got to talk to different people. You got to talk to people who you're intimidated to talk to.
Mm, yeah. True. That's a
um
good one.
yeah, if you're the smartest person in the room, you need to find another
Right. Another
you need to
room.
find another room. It's time for you to move on to the
Mhm.
next level.
That's a
um
great point right there. That's a
yeah,
really great one. I'm gonna
yeah.
I'm gonna remember that one. Yeah.
If you're the top
Yeah.
salesperson, the top producer in your company, then it's time
Yeah.
to move on to the next company. Yeah. And that, and yeah, it's uncomfortable. Yeah, you've got to take risks. If you're staying the same shape all the time, and you've mastered your workout routine, you've mastered the ability to run 5 miles every day, but you're not getting, it's like at some point your body just adjusts to those 5 miles, and it's not going to change anymore. As a matter of fact, you could actually gain weight and run 5 miles every day. I'm living proof
Mhm.
of that.
Damn it.
Yep. Once, it's like we're very adaptable. We're very adaptable. And that's a good thing, actually, the fact that we are very adaptable. And so we can learn to grow beyond where we are. And if we're watching the same TV show every day, it's just, it's like a Groundhog Day. You're just
Right.
gonna end up like living the same life each and every day. So you've got to challenge yourself to do something a little uncomfortable. I would say here's my call to action for the audience,
Mhm.
is right now, challenge yourself to do something that makes you slightly uncomfortable every day for, I don't know, what do you say? 5 days, 7 days, 21 days, 30 days? How long does
The
it
rest
take
of
to
your
really,
life.
the rest of your life. I
But
always
start
like
with
to
5
at
maybe.
least I like to set short-term goals and then go from there. Like when I first
Absolutely.
started
Yeah.
I first started keto, I was only going to do it like for 30 days and I'm
Mhm.
still doing it.
Nice.
Still
Nice.
doing it. It's not as perfect as it was in the beginning. It's kind of become a little imperfect version of it. But my body, unfortunately, my body's really adapted to it. So guess
Mm.
what? Guess what?
Oh, uh-oh.
It's
Gotta do
time for
something
me to
different.
I got to do something different. I got to get out of my comfort zone because yeah,
Right.
doing keto is like in my comfort zone now because I've adjusted and I've adapted to it. I've grown sort of past that because that's the life I've known for the last couple of years and it's comfortable to avoid
Yeah.
carbs, but you know what? It's not working. It's not working right now.
Mm.
It's not working right now.
Well, and since we're talking about this, these making these changes, so there's some people out there have a high tolerance for risk, right? So they can really push themselves. And so for them, doing something that scares them or is uncomfortable or outside their comfort zone might be jumping up on a stage. But
Mhm.
are there some small things for the kind of more timid folks out there that they could do on a
Yeah.
daily basis for the next 5, 7 days, something like that?
I would say, some of for one, you could like look at your daily routine. Like, so what does your evening routine usually consist of? Flossing, brushing your teeth, washing your face, going to bed. But maybe just prior to going to bed, you incorporate some new thing that you do that just represents that change, that getting out of your comfort zone. Maybe if you have a partner and you guys have fallen into a routine, maybe it's rolling over and taking a minute to look into your partner's eyes, for a minute and just say, telling them how wonderful they are. Maybe it's yourself. If
Hmm.
you're by yourself, right before you go to bed, you look at yourself in the mirror and you say, oh my gosh, you're the most amazing, beautiful, awesome person on the planet, something along that line, like that, before bed. Or maybe it's in your morning routine. Maybe you just kind of do something different instead of if you are the type of person that pushes the snooze button, maybe instead of pushing the snooze button every morning, you just stop pushing the snooze button and you just jump out of bed and say, hey, today's going to be a great day.
Nice.
Maybe it's that you just take a different way to work. What if it takes you a minute longer than it took you to get to work? Or, so many people these days are not necessarily getting on the road to going to work. So many people now work online.
Right.
So, maybe it's just the way that you do things. If you normally have your meetings with your business meetings in the morning and your creative stuff in the evening, maybe you switch that. Maybe you do your creative stuff in the morning and your business meetings in the evening. But it's like something that just changes you. Like maybe instead of drinking coffee for a little while, maybe you drink tea. Maybe it's that instead of reading a self-help book, maybe you read a fiction book. Boy, I mean, that would be stepping out of my comfort zone. I don't think I've
Me
ever
too.
read a fiction book in my life. It's like a waste of time for me. But, maybe it could be something, Um, maybe you try a new food. Maybe you
Hmm.
walk in a different direction than when I go out walking, I normally go to the left, maybe go to the right.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
instead of brushing your teeth with your right hand, if you're right-handed, brush your teeth with your left hand. I mean, it could
Ooh, I
be
like
like
that.
this,
Yeah.
huh?
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it could just be the small, and it just kind of does something with your neural pathways in your brain. It literally changes you. It literally just changes the structure, and I believe it just kind of creates more of an opportunity. Just like opens your brain up and opens your mind to see new opportunities. That's like, to me, it's like the whole point, because the opportunities are on the other side of your comfort zone. The opportunities are on the other side of your comfort zone. So challenge yourself to just do something to get out of your comfort zone. It could be something in the direction of what you're wanting to manifest. For me, getting out of my comfort zone all this time, I really would sort of work within my own means when it came to hiring people to develop my app. And I said, you know what, I don't care what it costs. I'm just going to find out. And if I have to get a loan, then I have to get a loan, but I'm just going to like go to the, I'm going to go to the top. And that, to me, I had to get out of my comfort zone because I'm used to spending this much money and I ended up having to spend this much money. So same thing, maybe you've been putting off hiring a coach or signing up for that course. Maybe it's just like a little bit out of your budget, but you know what? Sometimes you've got to invest in yourself. You got to get a little bit out of your comfort zone in order to really get to the good stuff. Maybe it means, doing the law of attraction intensive. I mean, for a lot of
Ah,
people, that's
good
getting out
idea.
of their comfort zone. You have to take that risk to ultimately get to the next level of your life. And, for some people, just getting on a plane
Mhm.
and going someplace, and interacting with people, that could be getting out of their comfort zone. But there's just so much available for you when you decide to get out of your comfort zone. So just keep taking those little baby steps if you have to, and then allow those baby steps to turn into big steps, and you will eventually reach a new level of comfort zone. You're never going to completely eliminate a comfort zone. Everyone has one, but you're going to expand your own comfort zone so that your comfort zone includes all of the things that you ever wanted to manifest. And so that's what I want to say about, getting out of your comfort zone.
Nice. Just and real quick, I just want to mention a couple things because as I'm working with clients, two things that I often hear when I mention yoga or meditation.
Mm-hmm.
With yoga, they'll say, "I can't do yoga because I'm not flexible," and I just want to shake them by the lapels and say, "That's the whole point. You, you don't, you don't, you know,
That's the whole
that's
point.
yeah." And also, and then the people will go, "Oh, I can't meditate because I can't clear my mind for 20 minutes." Well, no kidding. Who can? Especially when they first start. You're not a monk yet. Okay. Start small. You can do it.
Exactly. Exactly. Oh my God. I mean, that's so clear. I mean, that's so perfect because it's absolutely the truth. And so there was there's a funny quote about that meditation, and it has to do with something about meditate for 20 minutes a day. Unless you're too busy,
Mm,
then meditate for an hour.
right.
And it's like
Exactly.
Confucius, it's like one of those Confucius
Right.
statements. And it's
Right.
like, because that's the thing, is saying I'm too busy. Where is that? Is that in the comfort zone, or is it stretching beyond the comfort zone? It's stretching, doing something, even though you feel too busy to do it. And busy, I think, is a comfort zone excuse.
Mm,
I don't know if you
right.
ever
You're too
heard
busy
the,
doing you're too busy doing your current stuff that you can't make space, make room for something new that's outside the comfort zone. That makes sense. Yeah.
yes, exactly, exactly. Well, perfectly articulated. And so if you're too busy, that just, means like maybe some of those, if you're so busy, but you're not actually producing the results that you want, maybe some of the things that are keeping you so busy need to change.
That was something that you had, I remember I talked to you about this last year at Hypno Thoughts because you had posted something recent at that point was recently. It was about, you've got to, it was something about focusing on like, one thing at a time or something. And really it's like the less you do, the more you will accomplish is what I've come to realize. And I've realized that is it better to have 3 or 4 projects halfway done, or one project done and then the next project done? And that's such a difficult thing for me. That's my comfort zone. I like to be working on a lot of stuff, whereas I need to just finish something and then move on.
Yes, you got to commit to me. I love the Robert Kiyosaki quote. He says it's for focus. Focus. Let's see. No. Follow. Yeah. Okay. Because I wanted to say it's the focus thing.
Hmm.
Follow one course until success.
Oh, great. That's
Yes.
good.
Yeah. And that may require also getting out of your comfort zone to have one focus. Because I say, and this is what comes up for me, and this is to me, I think why I do it. If I'm ever focused on multiple things at the same time, it's because I'm not committed
Hmm.
to that one thing. It's like, well, let's just do multiple things and see which one works first.
Right. It's like dating, I guess, right? As opposed to getting married, right? I'm gonna
Exactly.
date
And
all these
so
people.
it's about ultimately committing to something and doing everything in your power to that you in committing to, and committing means that you will see it through to the end. You just will. Like, how do you know what you're committed to? Look at your results.
Oh, wow. Good point.
And that could be, you could be committed to good things, or you could be committed to things that you don't want. Just the same.
Right. Absolutely.
So with that said, I think we've put some ideas out there for people to really you know learn how to get out of their comfort zone. And again, I just want to leave you guys with, do something for the next, I'd say 21 days even. You can even take my 21-day manifesting challenge. You can find out more about that at victoriamgallagher.com, or sign up for the Law of Attraction Intensive, or download the HypnoCloud app and listen to a different session every day, or
Whoa.
listen to a different session than you're used to listening to if you're already listening to it. But just do something to get to change things up and to get out of your comfort zone. And that is the key to all success. It really is. Everything you want is beyond your comfort zone. You just got to step out there, and you got to take new actions, and you got to commit to those actions until.
Ooh, I like that.
Until.
Awesome.
And until our next episode, I would like to bid you all adieu and have a wonderful, successful life and business and everything that you want. Thank you so much for listening, and feel free to reach out and let us know how we can get out of our comfort zones and do something different, and help you in a new and different and profound way. So thanks for listening to the Power of Your Mind podcast.